Rory McIlroy off the pine straw, across the fairway, rolling like a carpet here at the 18th hole at TPC Sawgrass. Nothing but net, setting up a closing birdie, 5 under 67 to open things up at the Players Championship. Will Gray, Casey Johnston, Ben Everill. Ben, I can speak from personal experience. You can go from that pine straw into the water very easily. Rory did not hit it to 5 feet. Now we got to talk about Rory, Scotty. We got a couple guys at 6 under. What is your take from the opening round here at the Stadium course?
I'll tell you one thing. Rory McIlroy usually has a bad round in him when he plays these big events. Today might have been it, and he still shot 5 under. He couldn't hit the side of a barn off the tee. What, how many fairways, Casey, did we have?
Four fairways.
But I still love him from here. I still love him because I saw him out in the range. He was hitting some great bombs out there and getting it done. So I think maybe he can go good from here.
Yeah, Ben, I get your point. We often see him struggle in some of these first rounds of bigger events. If this was his bad round, rest of the field could be in trouble. I don't think this was his bad round. I think it just was a bad round.
It was not a bad round. He shot 67.
Well, for Rory. Well, I shouldn't say a bad round. I should say overall, compared to Scotty, I wouldn't trust him going forward. I think it was a bit fluky on the score.
So that's the question, right? Because we have the favourite still is Scottie Scheffler, who is 3 off the lead.
Yeah.
Rory's 1 off the lead. Who are you taking from here?
Yeah, so I like Scotty here. Now, I know Rory with those 4 fairways, I don't trust him off the tee right now. He's spraying it left, he's spraying it right. He had 4 birdies in a row out there. Kind of a fluky run, in my opinion. All of those birdies came from the rough. It came from the sawgrass. It came from the
count.
Rory,
I know it
Rory
still counts,
fluked a
but
5
I don't
under.
think
I love
he's
it.
going to do that every time. If he keeps missing fairways, if he keeps going left and right, he's not going to keep cleaning up birdies. He got 4 in a row in a stretch there. None of them were from the fairway. Not a single one was from the fairway. He can't keep that up for 3 straight rounds. Give me Scotty.
Rory notoriously starts slow in big events. He had that round today, but shot 67. That's the key to this. I think he had his bad round, but still scored well. I think he'll dial that in the morning, and I think he'll actually probably be the leader at the end of 2 rounds.
He took a small bucket of balls out to the range, probably got a token, put it in, got himself all sorted. We've got Scottie Scheffler at plus 400 at FanDuel. Rory was opened at plus 1,000. Now he's down about plus 450. And again, these guys are still behind the leaders. 3 players in at 600, J.J. Spawn, Camilo Villegas, and of course Lucas Glover. So of those guys, Ben, I know we were talking before the show started. Is there anything that sticks out about those 3 or generally how this leaderboard is set up right now heading into tomorrow?
Sorry, people, those 3 are not going to win this tournament. And let me tell you, I don't think any of them will finish in the top 10 by the end of this.
Whoa.
So I'm going to give you that huge take. I think that they were outstanding today. Camilo, of course, really good, but had a chip in. A few other things went his way. I'm not sure he can maintain that through 3 more rounds. Lucas Glover's the one that's a little bit of a could be the guy that stays up there because he's a ball-striking genius. You need to ball-strike it around here. And J.J. Spawn, nah, I don't think he can hold on. I just don't think that those guys are going to be there when the whips are cracking. They do get to come out. 2 of them get to come out tomorrow morning and maybe start to set a number, but they're just not for me. I think that there's some bigger names behind that are going to rise to the top.
Yeah, I think this is a common the players' first round leaderboard. It's often at the end of Thursday you're thinking, wow, this isn't quite the names I thought I'd see at the top of it. Water will find its level. I don't think you're going to see those top 3 guys stay up there for the whole weekend. J.J. Spawn, as you mentioned, we've seen him. We've seen his name up there quite a bit at different leaderboards. You think, oh, J.J.'s playing well. Late Sunday comes around, his name's usually not up there anymore. So Camilo would also be a great story as well. But again, just with what we've seen out of them recently, I don't feel super confident in those top 3 holding on. I think we'll see at least one of them sneak in the top 10 though, Ben. I mean, that's pretty strong. But I don't think we see a winner in those T1s right now.
J.J. Spawn just writing names down here. How about a name that we haven't talked about, but we need to? Whenever you bet this guy, especially at a big event, it is an emotional experience. It's a roller coaster. We are, of course, talking about Jordan Spieth.
Oh, my goodness.
You mentioned the hole-outs. He had 2 of them on 11 and on 16. Now Jordan Spieth is in the house at 2 under. You talk about, we said with Rory, if it's a fluke round, he's kind of riding by the seat of his pants. That's Jordan Spieth to a T. How do you assess Spieth's round and his look ahead to the second round?
You just cannot trust the bloke. Sorry, it's as simple as that. You can't trust him. Even if you were playing it like the stock market going up and down, You're still struggling. You're scattered. You can't get it going. I can't trust him. I don't want him. Leave me out of Jordan Spieth. It's just too many mistakes around this course can be too deadly. Mate, it was brutal to watch him do such good and such bad next to each other. No, I want no part of that going forward.
Yeah, if someone told me about Spieth's front nine, I probably would have said you're lying. That's a little overboard. Yeah, I get it. Spieth goes all over the place, but that seems a little bit much. 2 eagles, 2 birdies, 2 pars, 2 bogeys, and a double.
Is that a value meal somewhere?
That's somewhere. I mean, that's an expensive one. I mean, that is an inconsistency value meal if you ever heard of one. Again, that's something that I just don't see holding up over the weekend. I like how he's playing. I do think he saw some really bright spots out of him. But when you see that type of inconsistency over that stretch of holes, it's really hard to try to put some bankroll behind him and ride that.
A lot of big names are close to hitting the eject button. Hideki Matsuyama struggled, came back. Justin Thomas, well down. Victor Hovland opened with an 80. So those guys may be fighting, or certainly are fighting, to make the cut. But are there some big names or some other players you're looking at, Casey, I'll start with you, of in the middle of that leaderboard, heading into tomorrow, that you think, I like what I saw here, maybe this is a chance to pounce on the live market?
Well, for making the cut, not just live outright, but for making the cut, I think you could take a look at Decky. I mean, he finished really strong.
Please, Hideki, please.
He started really poorly, finished really strong. So that's a guy I think you keep an eye out there. He starts playing well tomorrow, maybe a hot start, 2 or 3 birdies in those first couple holes. Hop on board, maybe grab him live outright, get a good number, and see what happens. But I really liked how he finished. He started horrendously. He was all over the place. To see that turnaround in just a single day was really impressive. So let's see what happens in the morning, and maybe hop on board.
This red face is not just sunburn. It was just because I picked Hideki to win this thing. I picked Justin Thomas. The two of them absolutely stunk it up early. Let me tell you, Hideki was bad enough that I honestly thought he might walk off the course after 9 holes. There was a point where I thought, we could have a neck injury or a back injury or an illness or something come up. But to his credit, absolutely fought back hard, came home strong. 2 over, right, Will, at the end of the day. That's still theoretically in this if he has a really low one tomorrow. He's going to be on that cut line. It's going to be a great cut sweat. I need him to do it. He's my fantasy captain. Come on, Hideki. You've got this.
Just so we're keeping the scorecard correct, Casey Johnston, 2 or 3 over from Hideki, brimming with optimism. Rory McIlroy, 5 under. He's a bum. Get him out. Okay, I just want to make sure we have everything set here.
I'm scar tissue from last year's U.S. Open.
That's
right?
okay.
I'm still fighting over it. I need a full 12 months to get over that. But that's what I'm back home.
It's too soon.
I want to point to the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Right. You said, who do I like? Well, look, my overall selections, they stunk today, right? But I'm going to give myself a little plug here.
Okay.
My sleepers, number 1 sleeper, Aaron Rye,
Yep.
in the mix. I still think he's great for a potential top 10. And look, he could still win this thing from where he is. Alex Smalley as well, another one of the sleepers. And even Koala Carl Phillips got a good start for a while before he had a late stumble. So thankfully, at least my sleepers are doing better than my overall picks, and hopefully we can see what happens from there. I also like some value on that board for 2 young guys. Minwoo Lee, Akshay Bhatia. They're right up there on the leaderboard. You still get some good value in them. They can come out in the morning and hopefully make a run.
Both of them are at 5 under. I will say I really like what I've seen out of Aaron Rye leading the field in strokes gained putting. If you have Aaron Rye with a hot putter, look out, world, because you know the ball striking is going to be there. But Ben, you mentioned it. We've got the early late wave. We talked about it on Tuesday on our roundtable, and maybe we got things a little crisscrossed because 14 out of 17 years we've seen the winner go early late, but then today the winds were up. It played a little more difficult for the early guys, and then it died down, and we're better scoring for the late guys who are now further up the leaderboard. They're going to go out early tomorrow and potentially set the pace. But how are you guys assessing this from a late, early, late split? Maybe we got things a little bit backwards.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, you guys, I know there was quite a bit of stock put into that to coming into the weekend. Going into today, I was kind of looking for that. Let's see what happens in this early wave. Let's see what happens in that late wave. And it kind of flipped on us. I mean, early on, it kind of flipped on us. So I don't feel super confident locking into that going into tomorrow. Maybe you fade that take. Maybe you look into some of the early guys tomorrow and see what they're looking like early on. Maybe you find one of those middle-of-the-pack guys in that early window and hop on someone you like. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see that kind of that trend change so far.
I'm flipping it. I'm going all in on the guys that are going out in the morning on Friday. I think they're the most likely to set the pace. And I worry about that for the guys who are, having to come out in the afternoon and worry about not only the cut line, but trying to chase a number, right? We look at, there's a great name, Ludwig Åberg.
Yep.
1 under. could really do well. But I am worried that if there's 9 under when he starts and he's chasing an 8 under round instead of a 3 or 4 under round, that could hurt him. So yeah, I think the lean is definitely opposite to what we said at the start of the week.
Yeah, and I like what I'm seeing out of Oberg as well. First off the tee, strokes gained off the tee.
Yes.
That's crucial at this course. Couple hiccups with the irons today. That's something I always expect a guy like that to figure out. But if he keeps up that pace off the tee, first in strokes gained off the tee at TPC Sawgrass with the way he's been playing, year with Ludwig continues.
So the key to that, right, as we just talked about the waves, don't bet Ludwig right now because someone's going to go out in the morning and put up a number. Ludwig's odds are going to be juicier before he tees off. Right before he goes out, if you still like him and you think he can make a run, you're really going to have a good number.
You got to bet him at some point, right? If you like him, you got to time it right. I'm with Casey. I really like what I saw out of Oberg. He is far back. I think that's probably where I'm drawing the line.
Yeah.
If you're trying to project how far back is too far back, granted, we still have 54 holes left. A lot's going to happen. But I feel like if you're anywhere under par right now, if you're in red figures, you feel like you're still in it. I know we have a lot of notable names that are in the middle of that pack. Former champion Ricky Fowler is in at 4 under. Patrick Cantlay very quietly snuck into the leaderboard. Jordan Spieth, as we mentioned before. Will Zalatoris is up there. So it's going to be certainly very interesting. We'll wrap here, but is there anything else that is catching your eye, whether it's from a prop or just a lean for tomorrow, given that we're probably going to have similar weather as we did today?
I want to ask you, how's your over-under in the water balls going, Will? Like, how are we sitting there?
It's early. I think they got off to a decent start. There was definitely a little bit of carnage.
Yeah.
We're at 52.5. I have to get the updated number. But
the Bears here, it was 10. It was 10 about an hour and a half ago.
Okay.
There you go,
So you're
10.
You're bad. You're
10.
Yeah.
There you go. So they need to pick up the pace. And it is interesting because they had the back pin, which everyone feels like is the toughest pin of the entire week. So you think tomorrow it's going to be front left, where we saw a couple of aces in the practice round on Wednesday. So if you get the over 52.5, you get some work to do.
Let's talk about that, though. Is that what's going to happen? We're going to get the ace tomorrow? We always generally get one.
You're not getting it
ace?
Sunday.
Any ace. It's got to be like Friday or Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you want to hone in on 17 alone, or do you want to go all the par 3s and lose some juice?
See, I was surprised to see such juice difference between a hole-in-one just at 17 or a hole-in-one across the course. I mean, you're usually getting your aces on the 17th hole.
Yeah.
So to see that juice difference, I mean, I'm still feeling good about the plus 145 we saw for the ace at the 17th hole. Especially like you mentioned, we saw 2 during the practice round. Greens are going to firm up a bit, but once we get into that Saturday pin, we know the agronomy team wants to get a show for those fans. Might make it a little cozy of a pin. I like that. I like an ace happening at 17 this week.
Shout out to the agronomy team. Always fun to see how things go. Listen, it's been an exciting first round. We've enjoyed the action. We've enjoyed the banter. It's going to be a lot at stake tomorrow in round 2. We're only getting started here at Golfbet. We're going to stay with you all week long. Get your in-play bets in. Come back after the round. We'll have another recap after round 2. We'll see how things are looking heading into the weekend.